glad to see me. All right, let's welcome tonight's guests. His crowds are like Jesus' tomb on Easter, empty. Founder of LoftusParty.com, Michael Loftus. She's got the glow of a radiologist who won't wear her lead apron, Fox News contributor Dr. Nicole Saphier. He's gathered more facts than a Chinese spy balloon, Fox News contributor and Washington Times opinion editor Charlie Hurt. And she's got the bark of a Rottweiler, but the bite of a pug, Fox News contributor Kat Timpf. Okay, before we get to some news stories, it's Friday, so let's do this.
Greg's Leftovers.
Yes, it's Leftovers, where I read the jokes we didn't use this week. And just like when Greg does it, it's my first time reading these. Here we go. A late-night game of Monopoly in Brussels reportedly ended in a samurai sword fight, injuring 2 people. On the bright side, experts say it's the first time anyone has ever finished a game of Monopoly. It's true. A new study of single people found 44% doubt they'll ever find the one. The reason? Many stopped looking for the one and found the 5. Yeah! That is the perfect Fox News joke. New research is blaming pandemic weight gains for pushing 10,000 Army soldiers into obesity. Meanwhile, the Air Force says their study of overweight pilots can't get off the ground. Right. The city of Los Angeles has started blasting classical music at one of its subway stops to ward off homeless people and crack down on crime. If that doesn't work, they'll try this.
What do you want to know? Look, I want to give you the opportunity.
Disney will be revising lyrics in the upcoming Little Mermaid reboot to reflect current sensibilities. The movie will also be labeled dolphin safe. A new report claims that numerous companies are recruiting seniors in hopes they'll work harder than young people. Although one franchisee walked back their plan, saying, "I don't know how it's working out for other restaurants, but it's killing our profits at Hooters." They work hard. A new survey finds that 1 in 4 allergy sufferers say people accuse them of faking it. Now, I don't see what the benefit of that would be, although I did once fake having Hep C to get out of donating blood. The Late Late Show with James Corden only has about 3 weeks left before ending its run at the end of April. But don't worry, if you actually watch the show, it will feel much longer. And finally, a new 2024 presidential poll has Donald Trump now leading President Biden 47-40. Said the First Lady, "I'm just glad Joe isn't alive to see this." And now to some news. Ron ain't screwing around. He's standing his ground. Yep, DeSantis takes his show on the road, making liberal heads explode. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis spoke to Michigan Republicans yesterday, which means he's either making a move for the White House or hatching his own plan to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer. DeSantis tooted his own horn expertly, which is no easy feat. When Biden does it, he sprains his back. Among Ron's successes, stripping Disney World of its self-governing status and stopping wokeism dead in its tracks.
You know, at the end of the day, it may have been the case that Disney ran the state of Florida for the 60 years prior to me being governor, but they do not run it as long as this sheriff's in town.
And Ronnie ain't done yet. He put Disney on notice because they tried to pull a fast one on the way out the door.
They tried to pull a fast one on the way out the door. They've been caught on that. So all I can say is that story's not over yet. Buckle up. There's going to be more coming down the pike.
Buckle up or pull the crossbar securely over your waist and shoulders. So the new sheriff in town says the story's not over yet. The same thing Disney will say after Toy Story 11. So, Charlie, what do you think? Can you tell me what's going on here? What did Disney do? I tried to read this legalese, but basically, he tried to put a new board over the Disney ruling zone down there, and they kind of pulled a fast one.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you get into the weeds, it's incomprehensible, and it all goes back to King Charles.
Yeah.
It's very confusing, and I wouldn't recommend. But I will say this, like basic politics, Disney is doing Ron DeSantis a huge favor here by keeping the story alive. As long as Ron DeSantis has Disney to browbeat over sexualizing children and teaching, this creepy stuff to young children, Ron DeSantis has something to talk about, and it's very popular. It's very popular among Republicans, but it's also very popular among independents, and I think even some Democrats. So whatever Disney's up to, they're actually helping Ron DeSantis.
Yes, they're keeping the fight alive. Dr. Sapphire, plus The Mandalorian kind of stinks now, doesn't it?
I have 3 sons, and several of them watch The Mandalorian. They like that. But, I have 2 issues when it comes to this whole Disney-DeSantis thing. First of all, I have a huge problem with these large corporations, i.e. Disney, coming out and taking these political stances as though everyone who works there agrees with what they're saying, and as though anyone who wants to go visit Disney feels the same way. They need to stop doing that. I can tell you there are conservatives who work at Disney, but they feel bullied, discriminated, and they have to literally work in seclusion because they're worried for their jobs. Believe me, they're there. But on the other side, you have Disney, who came in 6 decades ago. They were given this deal to be essentially a sovereign nation within Florida because no one wanted to be in Orlando. And now you can't do that now 60 years later in the most populated or most popular state of Florida and just say, I'm the mayor here and I'm going to continue to govern. You can't do that. So DeSantis is going to win this fight, and all you have to do is facts matter. More people are moving to Florida, and up in Michigan, where you have Governor Whitmer, people are leaving. They've left continuously for the last 3 years.
That's right. And Kat, I mean, there's more than just Disney down there. There's lots of other theme parks and everything. So Disney better kind of wise up. They're not always going to be on top down there. But even if it made sense at one point, maybe in the 60s, or 50s, I don't know when they started Disney, 60s
67.
Down there. Maybe it made sense at the beginning, give them a little extra room, let them run things. But now that Florida, I mean, there's a lot going on down there. Why should we leave the governing up to Disney?
Okay, so I have a perspective on this that's going to be unpopular with everyone. So you guys buckle up.
Yeah, that's what.
I actually hate Disney so much, Disneyland place, just I've gotten in trouble saying how much I hate it.
They're with you.
I'm also not a tax attorney, so whenever taxes are involved, I believe taking someone's money without consent is immoral on its face. When it comes to this, I think there is a bit. It kind of started because Disney said something about some of Ron DeSantis' legislation that he didn't like. I am concerned that just about the idea of a government retaliating in some way against the speech of somebody, right? But in the larger picture, this is where I feel like I'm crazy if I'm alone on this. I don't get as wrapped up in the culture war stuff as people on the left and the right seem to do. I think that they scream at each other about it. They scream at it about each other. I don't like to sexualize children. I also, as an adult, enjoy RuPaul's Drag Race. But it's a great show. But meanwhile, I'm just like, hey, guys, like, is the dollar going to collapse? Like, a fighting, like a World War III, is that going to happen? The Restrict Act coming up, are we going to lose all this, even more of our rights and freedoms with some of this legislation that's being discussed? So that's where I'm at, and you know where to send my hate mail, because you already do.
I think they like that. Kat makes some good, yeah. See, Kat. So you just... That's it. Michael, Kat just wants to focus on the bigger issues.
Yes.
But she's sick of this culture war stuff, but I think you love the culture war stuff, right?
Well, to me, something's gone off the rail when Disney's coming after the kids, right? Like, something's really gone fundamentally wrong. Like they're changing the words to the songs in Little Mermaid. Soon the rides will be different. You know, you'll have the spinning gender fluid teacups. and whichever way your kid stumbles into, oh, she's a boy. You know? And if DeSantis really wants to go after Disney, all he has to do is get the Department of Justice and the FBI involved by saying Trump loves Disney.
Then they'd go after
I tell you
them.
what, he's there every weekend. There'll be guys jumping off that frickin' castle, just hut, 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 hut. Arresting old ladies in the middle of the night.
It's so true. It is true. It's a thing. Charlie, you wanted to get in here. You got more.
But Kat makes a great point, and I think actually that what you just said sort of reflects what most people feel. But because of our politics are so screwed up now, you have Democrats who are embracing these crazy pieces of agenda, and you know, not long ago, Florida was considered a swing state. It's not a swing state anymore. But when you have Democrats embracing policies that increase crime, like defund the police, when you have Democrats embracing illegal immigration, you have all of these issues that are 90-10 issues among most people, but as soon as they get like squeezed down into our political discussion, they suddenly become like 50-50 issues. And they're not 50-50 issues, nor should they be. And that's why Ron DeSantis has done so well in Florida, is by identifying those issues and just talking about them outside of the realm of politics.
Exactly. Before we go, Greg's going on tour to promote his new book, and I'm going with him. The book is The King of Late Night. Check out this preview.
All right.
Gutfeld in the house, yo.
That's exactly
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Greg Gutfeld! Great. Well, maybe it's a little stale. Greg Gutfeld!
Yeah! That's it. We're heading up Atlanta, cities in Florida, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania. Go to ggutfeld.com for tickets before it's too late. And up next, a green CEO suggests your property must go.
If you'll be in the New York area and would like free tickets to see Gutfeld, go to foxnews.com/Gutfeld and click on the link to join our studio audience.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.